Ian, just to kick off, maybe just to give the audience a little bit of a taste of how you came to your business and what it is at Wheatland Farm.
Yeah, my history goes back, like others, to Africa, actually. I was running an adventure travel company there, and we were a green company in the days before it was fashionable. But as things progressed, we eventually sold that business, and my wife and I wanted to manage some land primarily for wildlife. And knowing nothing about farming, we thought I'd stick to tourism. So we looked for a place that had some wildlife potential and a tourism business that we could carry on with.
And in terms of the kind of things which you've been doing there, I mean, I was with you recently and was incredibly impressed, but do you want to talk through some of how you're looking to integrate different bits of sustainability in different ways?
Yeah, when we started, it was much renovation of land. It was horse pastures and things, and we wanted to make wildflower meadows. As we progressed along that line, we started looking for other things, renewable energy obviously being a big one, and having self-financed solar hot water panels on all the business, we then wanted to look at electricity and put up a big turbine, which was way above our budget. So that's where we first came across Triodos, actually, was looking for finance for 11 kilowatt wind turbine.
And how much are you generating now with your...
We generate pretty much what we use on balance. We obviously import when the wind is quiet and export when it's gusting, but yeah. Overall we're square.
And in terms of procurement, I mean, you were telling me a little bit about looking for the tiles you were choosing. How do you find things now in terms of really being able to kind of move things on at the boundaries of becoming as green as you can?
I think just everything you do has an effect, and everyone who's done any sort of green stuff will know there's always a balance. You've got to get in your car and drive, or you have to do that. But we're building a new eco lodge, which is straw bale from next door, and when it comes to doing the lobby area, which I didn't want to have a wood floor for, you know, what can I use? And we looked at tiles. Tiles all seem to be imported from Italy or made in China or something. And we settled up using old roof slates for the entrance lobby. For the bathroom, where we actually needed decent quality tiles, we found a company that at least makes them in England, which was as local as we could get to Devon. But every decision you make on the farm has an impact, and we try and address that as we go.
And if you take, I mean, finance, I mean, who's to say? I mean, I'm sort of saying finance is interesting, but are you picking up any signs that finance is connected to sustainability in the minds of people that you speak to or in your own?
Well, absolutely. I mean, your story with the garbage stuff was very apt, actually, because prior to the wind turbine, my only exposure really to thinking about finance and what happens was investing some money my kids had been given and looking for ethical funds. And my experience really was ethical funds were made for people who had plenty of money, because the management charges were enormous. But we borrowed the money for the wind turbine from you guys. It was a delight when two people come down, not in pinstripe suits, and actually seemed to take an interest in what we were doing and why, which for me was way out there for a bank. Previous experience was, you go to the bank manager somewhere and plead, and it's not a pleasant experience at all. It did take us a while, as you say, that having borrowed the money to then think about our current account, our business account. We straight away thought we should move that to Triodos. What a good idea! But there's still a sort of hurdle there. It takes a while to make the move. Simply, pull your finger out.
And in terms of looking to the future, say, I mean, what are the things how are you looking to develop the business, and how can you keep on moving forward?
We've got several strings going. We like to persuade people to stay local, and we've just invested in 2 very high quality electric bikes, because we found people weren't taking to the normal bikes because the Devon hills are slightly off-putting. So we're going to try and sell Devon without the hills. We also, I'm just started a teaching program, learning to teach, in the adult sector to run courses to try and get people. We basically want to spread the word in as many ways as we can, whether it's to do with building or, I mean, 7 years ago it was recycling. As you say, everyone does it now, but it was remarkable then. People would come and say, oh, my son's a champion recycler after our week here. You know, and it's nice to see that that is no longer at the front line. It's just standard procedure.
That's great.
So, yeah,
that's great. Well, I think in a way, I mean, this sort of theme of integration, about looking at that whole system and bringing in education to that as well, I think is maybe a good place to end, because I think even from the Topsfield pub experience, what we really found is that for businesses like this and Ian's, it's increasing sense that we get that for these businesses, understanding where the money has come from and where the motivation is and why the money is coming in to be invested in a certain way is really important to us as a bank, to really understand all of those forces in community projects and in green tourism projects, and increasingly where money comes from and why it's being put in a certain way is really important to customers in their relationships with banks. So I'd invite you to speak to my colleagues at the stand in the lunch if you have any questions, and thank you all for your time, and thank you to Ian.
Thank you.
Thank you.